What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back to the Inside Wisconsin Show here on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Trevor Thomas, John Anderson, and today, finally, 66 episodes in, we wrangled one of them down. We have one of the Watt brothers joining us, Derek Watt, on today's episode.
Or as Chris Berman would say, Watt. That's his thing. So it's funny because I feel like if you talk to one of them, you're kind of talking to all three of them. Yeah. Right. Like, I think they have enough of each other and the whole family in them that, it's not that they have to wear different numbers to tell them apart, obviously. But it is they are such a close knit group that to talk to one, you get a feel for all of them, whether it's the oldest in JJ, whether it's the youngest in TJ, or the middle child, Derek. So I don't know if he exhibits all the middle child things, if he's the negotiator, if he is the mediator, if he is the quiet one, if he is, the easygoing one. I don't know if you can be easygoing and play in the NFL, but he's here. He's great. And I can't wait to share with the folks some of the insight and stories we gleaned from Derek Watt.
So here we go. Derek Watt on the Inside Wisconsin Show.
The Inside Wisconsin Show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, Aaron's Company, Blaine's Farm and Fleet, Capital Credit Union, Festival Foods, Quick Trip, Miller Lite, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, Provea Health, and the University of Wisconsin-Platteville.
Hey, remember to subscribe on YouTube, leave a review, smash the like button, just get with us.
Fresh off of the first 4K drop-off of his life. That's Derek Watt. Were there tears, brother? Thanks for being on the show, by the way.
No tears. Thanks for having me. No tears. It was great. We weren't sure how our son Logan was gonna handle his first day, but smiles, waving at my wife and myself, and gave his little brother a big hug and went on his way. So it was a good time. We're happy. It went well, and looking forward to the pickup here in a couple hours.
These are life things that happen to pro athletes that people never see. There was a guy named Charlie O'Brien who caught in the big leagues for years. Greg Maddux loved him with the Braves. And there was a strike year, and so he wasn't playing, and he got to take his kids to the first day of school, and he had never done that. And he's like, it's the most elementary thing. Every parent does it, and I had never done it because I'd been in the big leagues every year. Like, we take for granted some of these things that we do every day. We're like, wow, what a mundane deal that is. I got to take my kids to school. And we just forget that you guys don't get involved in those kind of things. Are there things that you feel like maybe you've missed as a pro athlete that even though you're relatively young in some of these things, but that people miss on, like going Thanksgiving Day, you got to play, or some of these things?
I was just going to say that's probably the biggest one is, well, again, if I was playing somewhere right now, I would not have been able to drop off my son today at school. So I'm grateful for that opportunity and so glad that I was able to be a part of it. But like you said, holidays, I've played on Thanksgiving. It's awesome to play on Thanksgiving, but you're away from your family. It was away in Dallas, I believe, years ago. Like, you're traveling on Thanksgiving, playing a football game, and everyone else is at home enjoying it with their family as they should. But it's awesome to be able to be that entertainment and provide that for people. But no question, being able to celebrate those holidays with family and friends is special. So you can't take that stuff for granted.
So when Trevor calls me and says, hey, we've booked Derek Watt, and immediately two things come to mind. Okay. So I'm going to say them together, but I'm going to have you take them one at a time. First off, how is it you're not DJ with all the initials, and how'd you end up on offense? So let's start with the name first.
Okay. The name first. So I am DJ technically.
Right.
But I think I was 4, maybe 5. I think we've talked about with my parents that I came home one day and was like, nope, I'm just Derek. Like, I told my mom, they called me DJ, and I was like, no, I'm just Derek. And so they joked about it for a little while, calling me just Derek instead of Derek. So they're like, okay, no, like, just I'm Derek. I'm a little different, because there's DJ Tanner from Full House at that time. I got DW from Arthur occasionally. So I was like, I'm just gonna be Derek. I wasn't about the initials, so nothing wrong with it, but it ended up circling back. I will say, like, in college, it tried to come back a little bit. If people try to get on your nerves a little, they'll give you the, hey, DJ, and start calling me DJ, just knowing that I don't go by that. But it is what it is. I've seen it a lot. People always ask me that, but
Good.
it's just kind of a personal choice.
Yeah.
Good. So you're your own man. And then is offense, is this just a rebellious middle child thing or what?
Well, honestly, I was the only one that started on defense. JJ they both started as tight ends and
Right.
switched over to the defensive side, and I started as a linebacker and switched over to fullback. So we've all started on the opposite side of the ball and switched over. So honestly, it was for me. I started as a linebacker, like I said. My freshman year, I redshirted, was on scout team. My second year at Wisconsin, my redshirt freshman year, 2 weeks into camp, we had guys like Chris Borland, Mike Taylor, Ethan Armstrong, that were, solid linebackers that were, older guys that were established. And I wanted to get on the field. And I remember talking to Coach Hammock, the running backs coach at the time, and he was like, we can get you on the field over here. If you come play for me on this side of the ball, we can get you on the field. And I vividly remember 2 weeks into camp, that training camp, Coach Bielema called me over mid-practice. I didn't know this was happening. Mid-practice, he goes, Derek, come here, and told me, I didn't know the play calls. I don't know what was going on. He told me, go hit, and he pointed to the guy, like, that inconspicuously pointed to the guy, go hit that guy on this play. And I was like, all right, I did it. And he was like, I can work with that. So from that point on, 2 weeks later was our first game. I had some packages here and there, like I was sprinkled in. And by the next week, I was starter and never looked back. And got me on the field and got me a nice 7-year career so far. So it all worked out.
Yeah, so far so good. We talked a little bit about that off the air, right? So right now, you are home. You're not on an NFL team. I think people know that, right? So 7 years into the mix, you're not just going to take anything. But John did ask, where are we at? Who's calling? Is anybody calling? So I guess where do you stand right now, Derek?
Yeah, right now I'm still working out. Obviously, I mean, I've worked out my whole life. Like, it's a passion of mine, and obviously I love football, and so I'm staying in shape. And like you said, I've played 7 years. I'm married with 2 kids. They're getting to that age where, my son just started school, so it's tough on the family and tough, so the decisions start to be a little different. And like I said, so I had a couple opportunities this off season that I didn't necessarily jump at because I'm at that point in my career where I can kind of I have more say than and there's more to think about than just I need to go play because they offer me an opportunity. So I'm open to still hearing stuff, and I'm just not necessarily gonna jump at the first one I get. So we'll kind of see what happens. Obviously there's been a lot of injuries, and you never know. Guys maybe not performing the way that teams thought they would, but I'm happy with the career that I've had, and if it's over, it's over, and I'm content with that. But I know I can still play at a high level. I'm watching these games. I know that I can still go out there and play. But so we'll see what happens.
When you watch a game, like, I feel that's completely different than I watch a game, and I watch it pretty close, right? But there are times I can just let the game wash over me. I can sit back and I am just here and I am being entertained. Like, can you ever watch it and not go, I can't believe that guy missed the block. What a stupid call there. How did they not, pick up this guy? How do you watch a football game?
Yeah, I definitely know. I would say I know more of the nuances, the ins and outs, especially like, for example, last night. I obviously know a lot of what the Steelers are doing on offense, and just in general. Obviously, I've watched the defense and played against them every day for the last 3 years. So I can watch it, specifically them, in just a different way that a fan can. And I had my buddies over last night, and they obviously have zero idea. They're just, casual fans that have always loved watching us play and enjoy football. But there's times when something happens, and I'm like, oh my God, I can just tell them that guy missed that block, or like that he was supposed to do this. And I saw that play. I knew they were going to run that play as soon as they lined up. Like, there's a couple times I as soon as they line up in a formation, I know it's going to be one of two things. Obviously, most people can kind of do that to an extent. Like, there's only so many things you can do. But there's multiple times I go, did I not just tell you they were going to do that? And just so I think of it knowing, I read into it a little bit more. And yeah, I watch fullbacks. If fullbacks are playing, I watch them. And special teams, a lot of people don't watch kickoff return, punt return intently. They just kind of watch to see how far the returner gets and things like that. So I kind of watch a little bit more specific things, look for nuances that, I know are important in the game, and guys I've played with and other teams, I like to watch them. So it's just fun for me that way. Guys, if people have fantasy that keep them involved in games they're not necessarily interested in, I got friends and past teammates that I can watch and root for and analyze as well.
So you're discussing the big Monday night game there on the ESPN. I guess that was ABC, the Browns and the Steelers.
The Disney.
But I do ask this: what were the Steelers doing on offense? Because in the fourth quarter they had -7 yards and somehow came from behind and won. So I don't know what they were doing on offense.
Their defense was very good offense for them that night.
Yeah.
It was tough, man. Like I said, I literally just saw that stat this morning after my work. Well, the morning after my workout, I was like, man, they went into the fourth quarter down 3 points, had -7 yards on offense, and won the game. And like I said, the defense stepped up, and they did. And it wasn't the offense's best game. They've had some struggles in the first 2 weeks here, but I think they'll get it figured out. It's just kind of they're not clicking right now, and everyone's got to be on the same page and doing their job. Some of it could be a guy missing his block. That's what I'm saying too. Like, I see things that people are like, oh, it's a terrible call. Well, if you watch it on film, it might not have been the worst call if so-and-so did his job. And so there's a lot of that goes into it. But definitely play calling, coaching does play a role. So it's one of those fine lines of, as a fan, you want to say anything, do anything, and think you know it all, but it's not always the case.
So that's where we're at today. Like, we're caught up to speed on everything that is now. Let's go back to the beginning. Maybe the question is, what's in the water in Pewaukee? Because there's something different there than regards to where the rest of us grew up. Maybe the question is, what was it about your upbringing, Derek, that allowed you to find the success that you have in football?
I mean, we were just our parents. Well, I guess they fed us a lot of food. They were great to us. Now we had all the food we ever wanted. We had 2 dinners every night. We drank milk like crazy as kids, and I would just say they raised us to, we did chores. We played outside all the time. We were competitive in everything we did. We were competitive with chores, and it was just, we were raised to work hard, and my dad would always tell us, act like somebody when we went out the door to school, to wherever we were going. Hey, don't forget, act like somebody today. And that just kind of meant, don't just go through the motions and be anybody out there. Go make somebody of yourself and be somebody. So that kind of always stuck with me, and I know it stuck with all of us. But just our parents set great examples for us: hard work, dedication, and they were always there for us, pushing us and to be the best that we can be. And we were pushing ourselves and always competing, like I said.
I feel like that's the most I've ever heard any of the three of you talk about your dad. Like, your mom gets loved up all the time, and I feel like your dad just gets left behind. So tell me more about him first.
So my dad was a firefighter lieutenant for 29 years, and he coached us in youth sports and at the organized sporting events, practices, but also in our backyard. We had coach at home, so we'd go outside and have mini practices with the three of us in the backyard. We'd play catch. We'd play, we'd do little, I think we would do little hitting drills when we were old enough and had little pads and stuff. So, once you start fifth grade football out in Wisconsin here, you're tackling. So we would get a little bit of that going in the backyard, but, he just pushed us. He pushed us to be, the best that we could be. And we didn't always love what we were hearing. He wasn't going to tell you what you wanted to hear. He was going to tell you how you played. But it was all, it got us to where we are. Looking back, he was hard on us, but it was because he loved us and knew our potential and what we could be. And, I can't thank him enough for, like I said, coaching us through our childhood and kind of showing us how to, the fundamentals, and then just kind of pushing us and getting the most out of us that he possibly could.
And then moms run the household. So then we know that's like easier. So now tell us a little bit about mom, because as I said, whether it's you or whether it is JJ or TJ, you guys are always effusive in your praise for what she did in your lives.
Oh yeah, mom the same way worked hard, and when she was home, she was, I mean, grocery shopping, cooking. They both cooked, but my mom did a bunch of cooking for us, and always she was on top of our schoolwork, made sure we were doing summer school, doing short like home summer school, whether we were actually going to summer school, but we had school in the summer at home. Made sure we were doing things like that. Just she loved us and made sure we knew that. And um, she's not exactly. She'll be the first one to tell you she did not know all that much about football. Um, I'm trying to think, man, maybe until we were late in high school, early college. Like we would set up the salt and pepper shakers with a knife as the alignment. They move stuff around, and this is who this is and that is. So it was cool in that sense. Like she had all the three of us that were having success in football, and she really didn't know the ins and outs and what was going on. So to teach her that stuff and bring her along, and she's the best. And like you said, she's gotten a lot of praise, and it's deserving, and you love her.
So that's ultimately getting you to high school then. Was that when it clicked for you, Derek? Was high school the time where you're like, kind of good at this sport? As a matter of fact, we all are kind of good at this sport. Was that when it really clicked for you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we all started playing football in fifth grade, youth football here, at the Junior Pirate program in Pewaukee, and you know, we were all very good on our teams. Nothing insane. We were all very good football players on those teams. My grade specifically only had like 18 kids on it, so we couldn't even scrimmage ourselves. So we couldn't, like, our practices were a little different, and we didn't have enough bodies to really function as a team. But so that was just kind of our first taste, getting into it, and got better and got better. And again, we had my dad coaching us we had coach at home, so you got extra work. Um, and yeah, I would say high school is when things really started to click. None of us, I can't remember if JJ might have, as a freshman, played on varsity because the head coach was different at that time. With Coach Iverson, as a freshman, I was not able to. Freshman didn't play on varsity, so that wasn't even an option for TJ or myself. But after that, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, you obviously started to get more experience on varsity and a limited role, and slowly increased that role, and started to kind of take off a little bit, and definitely we all had successful high school careers, obviously, and went on to Wisconsin, and the rest is history.
How
We've
much?
all got our jerseys retired there. So
Hell yeah, you do. Just
did
this
something
year.
right. Just this year, TJ and I. Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So do we forgive JJ? How do we look at his time at Central? Like, was that just a mistake of youth, or a mistake of the Badgers for not getting to him sooner? How do I categorize that? Doesn't fit the story.
Yeah, no, that is not a mistake on his part. He, for some reason, I don't know. I mean, from my recollection, Wisconsin just was not very high on him coming out of high school. I think they said he was too small, and just didn't really have what they were looking for. So he went on to Central Michigan and balled out there. And after his first year there, he told my parents, "I want to go to Wisconsin, and I'm going to walk on there, and I'm gonna pay you back. If you could pay for my first semester, I will earn a scholarship and pay you back." And he did just that, obviously, and went there and treated every day. And that's kind of what another one of our dad's, slogans is, treat every day like your Super Bowl. And that's what JJ did. I know, going in that spring semester at Wisconsin, treated every day like his Super Bowl. And I heard stories about it, that he used to just dominate in practice on the scout team, and obviously did earn himself a scholarship, more than paid my parents back. And again, the rest is history there. But I think that was just Wisconsin dropping the ball and coming to the party a little late.
Have they made up for it, though? Because you got Chris McIntosh there, another Pewaukee guy, who, by the way, he says, like, I used to be somebody and now I'm way overshadowed. But, like, have they already sent you a letter of intent for your kids? Like, is he on that already?
Not yet, but we had an unofficial visit when I was there the other day as the honorary captain at the game. My kids were there. Unofficial visit. We talked to the coaches a little. Chris McIntosh, we've got a good relationship with him. He came back for our jersey retirement this past summer. Obviously, we all knew who Chris McIntosh was when we were kids, so he is the first one to have his jersey retired. So it's special, man, to have him now at Wisconsin as the athletic director, and just a good relationship there. Definitely makes us feel welcome back anytime. And like I said, I've gotten to know him more and more on a personal level here in the last few months.
That might be the quote of the show so far. I used to be a big deal in Pewaukee till the damn Watt family came around. It was out of this world. All right, we'll get more of the Watt story from Derek Watt here on the Inside Wisconsin Show in just a bit. Break time. We're back in a bit. The Inside Wisconsin Show.
The Inside Wisconsin Show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, Aaron's Company, Blaine's Farm and Fleet, Capital Credit Union, Festival Foods, Quick Trip, Miller Lite, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, Provea Health, and the University of Wisconsin-Platteville.
Hey, remember to subscribe on YouTube, leave a review, smash the like button. Just get with us.
John, do you play fantasy football?
I do not.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think you did. Turns out I do, but I really suck at it. But my favorite part about fantasy football heading into the NFL season is the party. You go over to one of your buddies' houses or pick your favorite bar, you grab a case of Miller Lite, and you do the draft. I love the draft party. Have you ever been to one of those? Or
draft beer for the draft? I'm all into that. So, no. Again, I'll just quick my philosophy. I can't draft and root for players that would go against my team. Like, I get it. If you had Randy Moss and he scored you 1 billion points for your fantasy team, you're telling me you're going to sit there and you can root for Randy Moss?
No.
Or Kirk Cousins? No.
Probably why I suck at it, because I can't draft any of the people that the Packers like. I don't even know if I have some guys that have played in the Packers this season, but I can tell you right now, there's not a single Bear, there's not a Viking, there's not a Lion on my team. There's certain. I did draft Dalvin Cook, which is apparently a mistake. Even though Rodgers went down, I thought he was going to get more carries. He got me negative points this week. I've never seen that in my life.
By the way, how quick is that thing tumbled, right? Who knew that Jenga piece, they pulled out that Jenga piece and now came the whole thing. A-Rod out of that.
Yikes. Yeah, that was crazy town. And listen, feel bad for him. That's not how he wanted this year to go. And that's not how any of us wanted the year to go.
What does this have to do with beer? Because we like beer and we're kind of so on Aaron and the Jets right now.
Yeah, we're kind of talking about fantasy football and looking forward to football season. I thought, this is silly. When don't I drink Miller Lite during football season? The answer is there's not a time. However, I thought about my fantasy team because I actually won this week. I'm 1-1.
Good for you.
Yeah, thanks. It was a long time coming. I finished last this year. Let's not talk or last
We're
last
year.
Get
one for yourself.
Yeah. All right, making Miller time all season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Inside Wisconsin, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. I just thought of one more thing. Yeah, that too. Did you know they serve Miller Lite in 30 packs? Did you have that out there?
I don't know. I haven't looked. I've seen that. Everybody's the dreaded suitcase.
Yeah, we call it a box. I've never seen Miller Lite in a 30 pack. I went, ironically, back down to Southeast Wisconsin. It was probably the weekend we were down there for the Brewers game, and they had Miller Lite in a 30 pack. That really made my day.
Sometime, listen, is there no limit to man's inventiveness? We've gone to the moon. And we've invented the 30-pack.
We are in between segments with our guy, Derek Watt. Time for another top 5 list presented by Wisconsin's leaders in STEM, the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. UW-Platteville's Environmental Science and Conservation Program prepares graduates to lead innovation in sustainability and agriculture and conserve environmental resources right here in Wisconsin. Find out more at uwplatt.edu. Voiceover work is not easy. That read, not easy. There's a lot of big words in that read.
Good for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Good for you. That's why you should be like me. You should travel with a teleprompter.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, top 5 list time. Here we go. So the Watt brothers are fairly well known.
Too well known.
Yeah. We're curious if we can come up with a list of top 5 brothers that have some sort of piece to do with Wisconsin. So you have a top 5 list of brothers here in Wisconsin. Yep. I have my own. And by the way, the Watt brothers are ineligible.
Right, because they're kind of, you can't, they're off the charts.
Fairly simple.
Right? Yeah, so we want to at least, if we put them in their rightful place, number one, then they deprive somebody else from being talked about on Inside Wisconsin. So basically what we're doing is we're making room for more because we've got these people and you're like, okay, you're ineligible just because you're too good. That's all.
All right, I'm going first. This time. I'm going to see how many of mine are on your list. Two honorable mentions. Number 1, the Ham brothers, Olympians.
Okay. Wow.
And the other one, the Farley brothers. So I didn't know this, but apparently Chris, God rest his soul, tried to get his brothers in all of the films that he did. And apparently Adam Sandler and other producers have carried that on for him since his passing. Kind of cool. All right, number 5.
So are these sports? I just went Sports Brothers. Have you opened it up to a wider
yes, I have definitely opened it up. Yep, 100%.
Very good.
Number 5 on my list, Brooke and Robin Lopez back together again here in Milwaukee. They played together here, obviously played at Stanford. Now they're back together. Number 4, Barris Brothers. You won't know this. That is an awesome coffee spot that serves Wisconsin's coffee. The Barris Brothers in Watertown.
Okay.
Everybody back home will appreciate that. Very, 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 very good.
What do you mean back home? You're our home.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm the one that's not back home.
Yeah, that's also fair. Okay, 3. Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo.
Standard.
There's 2 of them running around. Yeah. I think it's kind of cool that obviously 2 of them play for the Bucks, but there's another one that's an Oshkosh, and they come up here and see him. I would imagine that the Antetokounmpo brothers are pretty inseparable, just like the other ones. Number 2, the Leinenkugel brothers. We had one of them on. It was episode number 2, ironically, Dick Leinenkugel, but Jake, Dick, and John have taken the Leinenkugel brand to completely different heights. And number 1, you may not know this, but Mr. Frederick Miller, who started Miller Brewing Company, when he passed, he gave it to his 3 sons, and there are a mittful of those that have kept the Miller brand alive since then. That is not partial just because they're big fans of us, but frankly, I'm a big fan of theirs and can't imagine what it would be like if Miller did come from Wisconsin.
Sounds like between 1 and 2, you're a drunk, is what it sounds like.
I do enjoy beer. I'm not a drunk, but I indulge responsibly every so often.
Okay. Well, see, now I went strictly sports.
That's okay. I have some other spots of Wisconsin covered that maybe you didn't. So
like, if you're going to do all things, how did you not put the Ringling Brothers in there? Do you just not like the circus?
I'm not going to lie. I thought you had them on your list, so I didn't think to put them on.
Golly.
What's on yours?
Well, as always, my list of 5 contains about 40.
Okay.
And
honorable mentions galore.
It doesn't include Dan and Matt Turk. There would be my honorable mention.
Yeah.
Okay. At number 5, there is a tie, which is where we always start. Okay. But this is up your alley because these are the first families of UWGB basketball. And that would be the Ripleys and the Andersons. Okay. Ron Ripley was really great in their heyday of D2. And then there was a Roger Ripley. And I think there's a Rock that's associated with them. And then there's the Anderson, Tom and Paul, and they went to Green Bay Southwest High School, which is the great. Every time somebody goes, "Oh, Southwest, Anderson, did you play basketball?" I'm like, "No, those aren't my brothers. We're not."
You played for the Packers then.
They're really good. Tom was great because he played on the team, 1 or 2 of them that went to the Final Four. So you got the Ripleys and Anderson, UWGB basketball royalty at number 5.
I like it.
Number 4 is even more people, but I'm just grouping these as Badger hockey brothers.
Oh yeah.
You had Jim and John Johansson. You got all the Granados. You got the Suitors, Lundins, the Lisi brothers, Scott and Steve Sabo from back in the 80s. So there's almost an unlimited amount of Badger hockey brothers that are fantastic. You could make a top 5 of just Badger hockey.
Yeah, you could. That's crazy.
So they're number 4. Number 3 are the all-time major league leading home runs for brothers. They are the leading home run brothers in the major leagues, Hank and Tommy Aaron.
Oh, I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Yes, Hank hit 755 and Tommy hit 13. And together, their total of 768 is the most of any brothers in big league history. But they both played, obviously, long time. Tommy played for the Braves in Milwaukee as well. So, yeah, Hank and Tommy Aaron are at number 3.
Funny. That's great.
Yeah, 768 between them. One dude had 755 of them. Number 2, I put the Ham brothers, Morgan and Paul. Dude, they have gold medals.
Fair.
Amazing. Now, again, if I had to factor in circus folk, carnies and the like, and beer, they might drop down. But in terms of sports, like me, I'm an Olympic guy. I love it. And Paul's got a gold medal, and Morgan and a couple of silvers, and Morgan has some. So they're way up there. And then number 1 is because, listen, I'm living in the now, And with his threat of waiting to see about signing the extension, anything we can do to make Giannis and Thanasis feel welcome, they're going to be number one for any number of reasons, other than the championship. But if we could let them know they are loved, let's put our arms around the Antetokounmpo brothers, Giannis and Thanasis. They are my number one.
Yeah, I get that. I love how you spell Antetokounmpo, by the way. A, shift, keyboard, oh.
So I have the list sitting in front of me because I didn't want to lose it. Here's how it's spelled: A-N-T, hashtag, a little caret, an asterisk. It looks like a percentage, P-O. Yeah. So that's how I spell that, and that's how I spell Krzyzewski. The first three letters, shift, across the top, Po.
And it literally says that on the teleprompter while you're on SportsCenter. If you ever have to read their names, yep, you just got it.
Just awesome. You know what to say.
Easy name to spell, W-A-T-T. Let's go back to him, Derek Watt. We're back, the Inside Wisconsin Show. Trevor, John, and Derek Watt. Derek, this might come as a surprise to you, but when you run a program called Inside Wisconsin, people say to you a lot who you should have on the show. And the number one request is Bob Uecker. And you guys are all quickly right after him. So real quick, here's the story on how Derek and I met and how this kind of got set up. Was it Labor Day weekend? You were at the Badger game in the morning and then the Brewer game at night, right?
Yeah, whatever the first game of the year for the Badger game was. I think it was September 1st, actually, I think it was, or September 2nd, one of the two, first or second.
Honorary captain, and then off to the Brewer game that evening. So I'm there with my family, and you get to chug a beer on screen. And my wife goes, dude, Derek Watt's here. Like, how you haven't been able to get anybody on the show yet? Go, like, I'm not going to stalk Derek Watt at a Brewer game.
But
3 Miller Lights later, he showed up again. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go stalk Derek Watt at the baseball game. So it was cool. I walked up, said hello. Luckily, John, he knew who we were, which was stupid, bonkers. That's odd. And now here we are. So we got the history and we got to today. In that middle part there's some things happening where your brother gets drafted and then you get drafted and TJ gets drafted. Did you feel pressure, Derek, to follow in JJ's footsteps? Was that kind of a nerve-wracking deal? But Derek is Derek. Maybe you just did you.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to our time at Wisconsin when I was deciding where I was going to go to school. JJ, obviously, once he transferred to Wisconsin, had a great career there. And I had originally committed to Northwestern, and as a linebacker, again, I was a linebacker coming out of school. And so I originally committed there just because Wisconsin had offered me a gray shirt, which would mean I would come in the next class technically. Northwestern was super high on me. I was the guy they were going to take, and just made me feel awesome there. And there was so much to like about it at the time. And then I remember Melvin Gordon was committed to Iowa at that time. We were at a Wisconsin game. They played number 1 Ohio State, and I was still going to the games for obviously JJ. And we were sitting there, and they beat them, number 1 in the country, beat Ohio State. Everybody stormed the field, went crazy. Melvin and I looked at each other. We were like, "What are we doing, man? How are we not going to come here? Like, from Wisconsin, look at this atmosphere, the football. It was so special that from that moment on, we both committed to Wisconsin." And it ended up working out where I ended up getting a full offer. I mean, it was a full ride anyways, but it got bumped to the regular year. So, but yeah, once I actually came to Wisconsin, it was following in JJ's footsteps, people asking, comparison things like that. They actually offered me if I wanted to, again, as a linebacker, they offered me number 99 if I wanted to wear it. And I was like, heck no, I'm not going to wear that. That's his thing. I'm going to be my own guy and pick a different number and make a name for myself. I didn't want to just, ride the coattails, things like that, and just continue that even more so. So definitely he had some big shoes left behind for us to fill. But I mean, he also paved the way for us. Like he set an example, he paved the way, showed us the ropes, has been just an unbelievable role model for us. And so, yes, it's been, big shoes to fill, following in his footsteps, but we've loved it, and I can't thank him enough for the foundation that he laid for us. And hopefully I've done some of that, and TJ would say that I did a little bit of that for him as well. And obviously our paths were much more intertwined as we're closer in age, and we were able to be roommates. And obviously growing up, we shared a room when we were kids, and we shared a apartment. We didn't share a room. We shared an apartment in college. So that's special, man. Like that's an awesome relationship that we've had. And we obviously were with the Steelers for the last 3 years together, lived in the same neighborhood. So TJ and I have an unbelievable relationship in that sense.
Man, there's a lot of fruit there that I need to follow up on here. One of my notes, though, on here has Melvin Gordon. So you say JJ paved the way. Listen, dude, you paved the way for Melvin for whatever it was, 1,000,000 yards and 1,000 touchdowns for that guy. What's he like?
Melvin's
Other
awesome,
than a
man.
really good football player.
Yeah, Melvin is awesome. He is a guy that I met, like I said, in high school on recruiting visits. Met him, and during high school, obviously, I knew who he was. He was a big name, a big running back in the area. So we hung out not only on visits, but I went to his house in Kenosha, spent some time together, got to know him a little bit, and we were actually when they moved into the Regent apartments across from the stadium in Madison. We were roommates for that first summer as freshmen, and we used to have. He was big. He had a pull-up bar he put in there. He in the doorway. He had some 45-pound plates and stuff to be able to do curls and ab workouts. And so we'd sit and across the hall in our doorways and we'd be doing ab workouts and pull-ups and things like that in our apartment. And I love Melvin, man. I spent 7 years playing with Melvin between Wisconsin and the Chargers. So it's one of my greatest friends that I've ever played with, and still keep in touch with him to this day, and hoping he has a great continuation of his career right now with Baltimore. But just a great guy, great player, and a good friend.
I don't know if this delves into PG-13. You can take the fifth, but when you had the apartment with your brother, where was it in Madison? And was it a tame place? Was it a congregating place for a lot of people? How much of that are you willing to divulge?
It was in Madison.
Perfect.
Narrows it down. It was near the stadium. It was close. We lived in I lived in a few different places on campus, but
Yep.
TJ and I lived pretty close to the stadium, which is awesome, convenient. But no, our place was by no means a congregation. Get out of here, trooper. By no means a congregation. We had, our other roommates. My other roommates were football players initially, and then we ended up getting some roommates that were not football players that were just friends of ours. But no, we were not hosting parties, not having things like that. We were keeping the place clean. I'm not cleaning up after other people too often, especially college kids. So we kept it clean. We kept it. We were focused, man. Like we had a goal, and we were trying to keep ourselves focused and keep each other, accountable. And we were studying stuff at home, football wise, obviously school as well. But no, we were not hosting anything to answer that question.
Good for you.
As you were growing up, you mentioned that Northwestern piece, which we'll forget about real quick. Did you grow up wanting to be a Badger and a Packer, just like the rest of us Wisconsin kids did?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you grow up here. I mean, you're a Wisconsin fan. We went to Wisconsin games growing up, and I mean, what's not to love? Obviously, it's a huge deal, and Packers as well. Brett Favre, Reggie White. Growing up watching and hearing about these classic throwback, just legends, Bart Starr. All of this history. We would go up to Packers training camp practices and watch that stuff, and just it was special, man. And it's so close to home. It's like, how do you not want to go there? And they were good. The Packers, they have always been good. And so they're just, you walk around now. I was just telling somebody the other day, like, I'm not normally here right now. And walking around, I was at the store. I went to the store on a Sunday morning and I decided to grab some things. Every single person is wearing Packers stuff. Like, we're not even near the stadium, obviously, but people are diehard out here. And I remember the same thing at Wisconsin on Sundays on campus. Everyone's wearing, at the time, Aaron Rodgers jerseys. Everyone's wearing, Packers jerseys. And so it is definitely a takeover of the state. And that's awesome. The passion that the fans and the state of Wisconsin has for both Packers and Badgers sports is special.
Still like to go to a Rose Bowl.
So I've been to a Rose Bowl as a fan when JJ went, and then I've been in a couple Rose Bowls. So it's fun. I mean, it is an awesome place to play, no question. I've been man, it did not treat us very well.
Mhm.
JJ lost to TCU when he was there, so that was a tough one. That was a close game, tough one. Uh, we lost to Oregon my freshman year with Russell, and then we lost to Stanford the next year, or year after that. And so, yeah, it didn't treat us the best, but it was
Jeez.
fun. It's a cool experience for sure, and it's a great stadium, great. I mean, it's the granddaddy of them all, man. It is special, that's for sure, and I'll remember those forever.
Not great memories, I guess, but fun nonetheless.
Yes.
John and I talk a lot about being Wisconsin sports fans, but particularly Brewers fans. So obviously, Brewer game where we met. Are you like completely on the Brewers bandwagon? And if you're a Pirates fan, then forget I actually brought this up, and we'll just move on.
No, I'm not a Pirates fan.
Good.
Actually, I think I only went to one, maybe two Pirates games out there, and
It's the
when
Brewers,
I
though.
went to those games, it was against the Brewers. So those are the games I went to, and it's funny enough. Like again, it's actually a little hard to watch Brewers sports and or in Bucks on here unless you got Bally Sports, I believe it is. So I don't get many of their games, but I follow the Brewers. You know, I'm pretty on with the Brewers. It's been for a while too. I'm not a you use the word bandwagon. I will say I'm not a bandwagon Brewer fan. I've always been a Brewer fan since we were kids. I played baseball in high school. Always been a baseball guy, and so we'd go to Brewer games all the time. But right now, honestly, the way I keep up is I just check scores. I'll go to the ESPN app, check scores, keep up with it. I'll sometimes watch the game cast and see, if they got some runners in scoring position. I'm gonna watch it on the game cast, little pitch thing going. So I'm a little bit of a weirdo in that sense. Like I like the Brewers, man, and I enjoy it. Obviously, it helps when they're doing well. So and they're playing very well right now.
Write this down. It's Direct TV Stream. That's how you get the Brewer games. I too struggled. It's Direct TV Stream. ESPN app is fine. Direct TV Stream. There you go. You're welcome.
Careful.
All right.
So, by the way, J.J. Hardy also played baseball in high school. That's a different story. As long as we're on the subject of non-football things, one, how close were the Watt brothers to being NHL legends?
Man, hockey was our first love. I have home videos of I think I was 2.5 years old, like maybe three, skating, like not just on the ice, like skating. And so JJ we all played hockey. I want to say JJ got to, man, I can't remember how old he was. I think I stopped in middle school or just before middle school. But JJ played to the point where he got to be on some travel teams that were Team USA. He played over in Germany. They won a tournament out there as part of Team USA, and he was the MVP. And hearing about that experience is just incredible. The whole place chanting USA and just sounds unbelievable. TJ and I were also very good at hockey. Again, we started skating, we were young. In the winters here in Wisconsin, our dad would take us to a local pond that froze over and play hockey out there. It was fun. Like we were good at it, we enjoyed it, and it was our first passion. So unfortunately, it was just so much travel between the three of us all being on travel hockey teams.
Mm-hmm.
We got two parents. Someone's got to be in Minnesota, someone's got to be in Chicago, and someone's got to be in Michigan. How are we doing it? And it's just an expensive sport for three kids. Hockey is an expensive sport.
Yeah.
And so when you got three kids, the expense, the travel, it's just logistically became a little bit of a no-go for us. So we kind of shifted our gears towards football and baseball and track, things like that. And so I think it ended up working out all right. But
Yep.
I do think JJ could have been, like a Zdeno Chara out there on the ice, one of the biggest dudes on skates.
Yeah, that guy's a Sasquatch. I think he could still play. I think he just retired at like 56 or whatever. The other non-football sports, I have a question. You got to help me with this. And you don't have to answer for JJ on this or apologize, but he has gone way too far off the soccer deep end, and I don't know if we can get him back.
Man, I'm trying to think of when this all started.
It's awful, right? So first off, I have two goals in my life since I was a child. I wanted to stamp out the metric system in this country, and I'd like to stamp out soccer. So I did all right with the metric system, but I am losing the soccer thing. And when prominent guys like your brother do this, it's hurting my cause.
So it's been a while. He has been involved and invested in soccer, just passionate about it for a while now. Obviously, his wife Kaylia was a soccer player and, only feeds into that. But
all
before
this-
that, even, I think he was watching the Premier League, and I remember him being a big Chelsea fan back in the day. And, I played soccer growing up. I think that's like one of the first sports everybody kind of plays as kids. I was good at
Sure.
soccer. I enjoyed it as a kid. I don't love watching soccer all the time. I don't mind it occasionally, but I'm not the biggest soccer guy. He's very involved and very into soccer. So what he's doing right now, and it's honestly, I don't know much about the Premier League. A lot of our buddies back home didn't really know a whole lot about it. We're starting to come around. Obviously, we're watching Burnley. It's obviously hits close to home. That's about the only. I'm not watching anybody else. I'm not watching any other games. I'm watching Burnley games. That's about it. I'm not really turning on to see Nottingham Forest play Chelsea or not, anything like that. I don't even know if those teams are going to play each other. But I'm watching Burnley games, and that's about it.
What episode did I wear that? Jay, I wore the Burnley Watt 99 soccer jersey that I ordered. And it was as if you would have preferred me with no shirt on. That was odd.
Honestly, that's why JJ hasn't been on the show. I'm personally blocking this. I'm like Tuberville with Pentagon Promotions. I will not let soccer.
And he will wear Burnley stuff if he's on. So he'll not only to spite you, he'll just wear Burnley stuff if he's on.
Yikes. All right. So different hockey stick. You're into the golf game now, yeah?
I am. We are starting to get much more into golf, that's for sure. Obviously, I've had more time on my hands this off season. I'm seeing some improvement in the game finally, which is awesome. We've been playing for like about 3 or 4 years. We kind of like been casual players of golf, and obviously between our workouts in the off season and the rest of our personal lives, like we'll go and play golf here and there. But after I remember TJ, like, we need some lessons. Like, we've been the same golfers for 3 years. Like, we're terrible. We're not getting any better. We got to do something. So obviously he's got a different focus right now. It's treating him pretty well. So he's still not a great golfer. But I am making some strides in my golf game. I've been playing a lot more this off season and just enjoying it. It is fun. It is nice to just get out on a beautiful day here in Wisconsin and hit some golf balls. So I've enjoyed it and looking forward to continue playing.
So you characterize that as we, and each of you have had stellar careers at Wisconsin. You've each played in the league for, like you said, 7 years. Your brothers have had Defensive Player of the Year awards, and yet you get lumped a lot of times as the Watt brothers. Why is that comfortable for you to just be like, yeah, we're the Watt brothers? 3 is 1 and 1 is 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we know, man. Like we all love each other and we feed into each other's successes. Like growing up, again, we battled like anybody. We battled more than most brothers probably. We fought, we argued, we were competitive with everything. But at the end of the day, we love each other and we would support each other more than anyone, And so like we talk on a daily basis, whether it's texting, occasional FaceTimes. Obviously now I've got 2 kids and JD's got a son that FaceTiming to see the kids is always great. But it's just, we're a close-knit family and that's just kind of how we've always been. And people associate us together because we're together a lot. We support each other and we are proud of it. Like we're not trying to be, I said earlier, I'm my own person, but at the end of the day, like we're all, in this together. We're all pushing each other. We're all rooting for each other as our biggest fans. And so like, it's what we've known.
So I did a commercial with the Manning brothers for ESPN, this spot with the 3 of them. And if you
name drop.
So at the end, right, Peyton kicks Eli and that's the whole thing. And Cooper's there too. And at the end, the director says, here's what I want to do. I would like to do one now at the ending where Eli kind of kicks Peyton. And Cooper and Peyton say, well, no, we're not going to do that. And the guy says, well, no, it's just, to see how it looks and blah, blah. And Cooper and Peyton go, well, no. And he tries to sell it again. And they finally go, listen, Eli's the younger brother. He doesn't win. He's never won. And he's not winning today. And Eli just sat there, Super Bowl winning quarterback, and took it. Okay, so I'm wondering, do you guys gang up on TJ? I know you said you're closer in age, but like, is there a dynamic there where somebody is the boss and somebody gets the short end of the stick?
I wouldn't say there was much ganging up, not on TJ and not on any of us really. That anybody gangs up on anybody. Get out of here, true. But sorry, my dog is trying to get some FaceTime.
Bring him on.
But but no, like, oh, if you say something dumb or you like try to self promote yourself and it is like cringy, oh, you're gonna hear about it. Like the other two are gonna rag on you so fast. But it's at the end of the day, like, no, we're not ganging up and trying to. I mean, I'm not going to let TJ do anything to, you know, that sounds like something we would do. Like we've done commercials together. They ask you to do some ridiculous stuff, and we've shut that down pretty quick. Like that's just not going to happen. Like, no, how ridiculous is that? Like, would you let somebody do that? And let alone, you know,
Right.
So we shut stuff like that down pretty quick. But again, we'll rag on each other, no question. Like TJ, JJ mentioned this the other day on the McAfee show. I think like TJ sent us a picture in our group chat of his entrance when he jumps and does the both legs kick in the air, and he said he sent that picture. It's a sweet picture, but he said definitely the highest vert in the family or something. And right away I chimed in. It's amazing what the angles can do for you. And then JJ said, yeah, especially when you're kicking your legs up and tucking your knees. You know, like, dude, don't send that and act like you got, like, it's the guys down here, you're way over there, and camera angles and your knees are up in the air. Like, you're just going to get roasted for that. And it's ridiculous.
There's a part of me that honestly wondered what fight was going to come from you being on this episode, to be completely honest. Like, we're going to cut some of this up and post it, and I'm all but guaranteeing there's going to be some.
All seems safe.
I am sure that I've said something here today that I will get roasted for or get a hard time for. Sure, there's stuff I could have said. Like, how did you not say that? So,
I feel like this is a safe space for everybody.
Yeah.
We're not here. We're here to be safe.
The World Wide Web is just a safe place for everyone. All right, we're going to wrap it up with Derek Watt in just a few. Back in a second. The Inside Wisconsin Show.
The Inside Wisconsin Show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, Aaron's Company, Blaine's Farm and Fleet, Capital Credit Union, Festival Foods, Quick Trip, Miller Lite, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, Provea Health, and the University of Wisconsin-Platteville.
Hey, remember to subscribe on YouTube, leave a review, smash the like button, just get with us.
John, at the date of this show coming out to the public, the Packers are home yet again for the second time this week in literally 4 days against the Lions, right? Lions on Thursday
Both
night.
games against the Lions this year on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. One of the other ones on Thanksgiving. So I bring this up. Festival Foods, official grocery and tailgating headquarters of the Green Bay Packers. I feel like 4 days is a tough turnaround for a tailgate, right? Sunday, big tailgate, first home game.
Okay.
We all go back to work for 3.5 days. Let's be honest. If you're going to the game, you're probably not working on Thursday anyway.
Sure.
That's a tight turnaround for a home tailgate. I mean, I kind of feel for the people at Festival Foods. That's a lot of. I mean, it's good traffic, but that's a lot of traffic. And then I think about, yeah, you got to be stocked up. I mean, that is the place to stock up for the tailgate. Which, by the way, Amanda, I love you, but when you go into the store and I say, let's get a case of Miller Lite to take to the game, okay? We walk into Festival Foods. I didn't go in. Amanda went in. I said, get a case of Miller Lite. We're taking it to the tailgate.
Please.
She grabs a 24-pack of 16-ounce Miller Lites, and she comes in, and we park miles away from the tailgate, and she's like, oh, look what I got. It was the better deal. Not great. Like hoofing it like a boombox on my shoulder all the way to this tailgate party.
Wait, so you're talking about the difference of 24 cans and 4 ounces?
Times 24.
4 ounces times 24.
That's a lot. That's like a case and a half.
It's 96 ounces.
Versus what? What's a regular case?
I'm just thinking 96 ounces is how much? That's 16 ounces in a pound. So she's adding 6 pounds basically to your life.
When you say that, it doesn't sound good at all. All right. I'll stop complaining and just enjoy the tailgate.
Hopefully she didn't get the hot dog length buns, the bun length hot dogs. Otherwise, you might just have to, do a whole workout regime.
You should know better. Just go to Festival Foods and stock up on your tailgate, okay? And buy whatever Miller Lite's on sale. That's the best way to go.
Buy a lot. You got to get 2 in there. Like you said, you got to get 2. You got to double up.
Stock up. It's what's got to happen. Back to wrap it up with Derek Watt on the Inside Wisconsin show. Trevor, John. All right, 2 for me, Derek, and then off to the JA lightning round. So you're in this weird space now where you're kind of a fan of the NFL and you can still play in the NFL, but you're currently not playing in the NFL. Does that mean you get to go to Packers games as a fan again?
I mean, I could, yes. I don't know that I'm going to, but I will be going to the Texans Steelers game when JJ gets inducted in the Ring of Honor. I'll be at that one. Obviously, that's a double whammy scenario. Get to see TJ play and get to see JJ with get honored with a tremendous and well-deserved honor.
I feel like that was planned, as if, hey, let's get them all in the same place at the same time.
You think?
Marketing. Last one for me. Have you ever been to the Pine Cone in Johnson Creek?
I absolutely have been to the Pine Cone in Johnson Creek.
I would not.
It's on the way. It's on our way up to Madison. My dad is a big Pine Cone fan. We all are. We've all been to the Pine Cone. It's definitely a stop that I won't say I've been there often, but you see it all the time, and I've definitely stopped and enjoyed the experience. And we've been back and we've recommended it to people.
Heck yeah! Every time I go home, me and the family got to go to the Pine Cone. Grew up going there. See, John, you'll get there someday.
Is that could that be like a tavern of the game? I don't know. I am unfamiliar with the Pine Cone.
Derek, how would you describe the Pine Cone for John? This is good.
Well, it's it's a truck stop, diner. It's like a truck stop diner.
Okay.
If you're going there, you're weaving through some semi trucks in the parking lot for sure. Yeah. It's right, and some outlet malls right around it, outlet stores. But
okay,
it's a good time. It's a good area. Definitely, if you're ever visiting Trevor, check it out.
Yeah, I live in Green Bay now, but thanks. Appreciate it.
Now if you ever visit Trevor and go back and he shows you his roots,
you got to go to the Pine Cone. Okay, I'm on it.
Now I know.
All right, John, that's my 2, man. It's the lightning round.
All right. You're just going to look here. We're going to get the lightning round started.
Usually have some tearjerker emotional thing for him. Give me your favorite memory from being in a deer stand. But okay.
That was on my list.
Here we go. We'll go quick. First off, can you name any Jonas brother?
Joe.
Perfect. Yeah, he's been in the news a lot lately. If I say Hanson brothers, do you think Slapshot or do you think the Mbop kids?
Slapshot.
Yeah, those are the only really ones. What conference does Pewaukee play in?
The Woodland.
Give me your biggest rival.
When I was there, Eisenhower. New Berlin Eisenhower.
Okay.
Right now, I think their biggest rival is Catholic Memorial.
They're new to the conference.
They are new to the conference. They just played them the other night. Tough loss. But I did beat Eisenhower when I was there. So success.
Okay. I need an all-time quarterback for my backyard football game. Which one of you 3 brothers do I want? So all you got to do. Is throw passes, man. You just got to sling.
Me. I played quarterback growing up, and TJ played in high school when he was a runner. He couldn't throw. I played quarterback growing up and through 8th grade, and I can sling it with the best of them.
Good. Which of the 3 of you is the worst driver?
JJ.
How many teams are in the Big Ten?
2023 or 2024?
Give me what you got.
It's like 16 now, I feel like.
You split the middle. I think we're 14 now and
14
18 next year when it comes through. Yeah. Did you have a favorite Big Ten road trip?
Favorite Big Ten road trip? I would say one of the cooler, Nebraska was a cool experience, like no other. I mean, that's they live for that out there, and it was a cool experience in that stadium.
Yeah, they call themselves the Big Red. I don't know if that's
not
true.
These days they're not. Nebraska was a little better back when I was playing.
They have shrunk. How many $5 footlongs can you eat?
How much money do I got in my pocket?
Listen, you're a spokesman. Unlimited. Just how many you got?
A lot, man. I mean, I don't know.
Give me a favorite Packer.
Favorite Packer. Brett Favre.
If Corbin Burns threw you 100 pitches, how many could you put a bat on?
I told you I played baseball. 10. I'd be able to hit 10. Put a bat up, put it in play. Ooh, I'm very curious. That's a good question, man. Like I said, I played baseball, but not many 100-mile an hour pitches coming at me.
No, or
So-
85-mile yackers that are just be like that.
Yeah. Oh, I would look silly, no question. But I would like to think I could make contact with 10.
Okay,
Easy.
and that's all I ask is just get a bat on it. It doesn't even have to be in play. Give me a sport I would never try.
You would never try?
You.
Well, you said I, man. A sport I would never try. I don't know.
Listen, I'm good. I love that you're game for anything. Bring it on.
I'm game for anything.
Fantastic. Give me the greatest Steeler of all time.
Greatest Steeler of all time. Myself. It's going to be, very well could be TJ Watt. So I'm going to go with that.
For now, I'm going to go Joe Green. For now.
Joe Green is a great one.
Yeah, or maybe Mel Blount. True or false, Joe Thomas is a top 5 Badger player all time in the last half century.
Joe Thomas is a great player. I would say top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say he's top 5.
He might be on my side. He might be
an ally.
Finally,
I'd say
66
top 5.
episodes
I'm trying
in.
to
If you were going to put him in your
just.
top,
I don't know. He's on the cusp. He's on the cusp.
would you say maybe he would be number 5?
He's probably be at 5. I don't think he's less than 5.
I don't think he's more.
Mark
This is
down.
the best day of my life.
And here's the final question. When was the last time anybody f***ed with you three?
Hasn't happened yet. Probably never will. Don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it either.
I don't recommend it. But I recommend having, if anybody has a podcast, call Derek Watt, put him on your show. Hey, you're terrific. Thanks so much. Can we see the dog? Is he there? I mean, he's been on the cusp.
Trooper.
Introduce
Trooper.
him. Who is this?
Troop.
He's like,
Trooper,
no,
come here.
Screw
Now-
you. You
now
told
he's-
me to go away.
Now he's nowhere to be found.
Now he's camera shy.
Oh, here he comes. Trooper. Come here.
Oh, look at that guy.
There he is.
Boxer?
How long
He's
you
a
had him?
boxer. 7 years. Got him in my rookie year in San Diego.
Nice.
Love it.
You're on.
Dude, this was fun.
Finally got it.
Really appreciate you
thanks for
coming on
having
and
me.
joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Fantastic. Enjoy the
Well,
ceremony when you go to the Texans Steelers game. Enjoy not having to wake up and take an ice bath on Monday after games and some of that stuff, Enjoy good health. Enjoy your good family, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Doing the right thing.
Don't mess with the Watt brothers. Noted.
Right. Like, I feel like that's not something that needs to be posted.
Yeah.
Like, just common sense would tell you that's probably not what you want to do, but it's good to have it verifiable.
Yeah, I just wouldn't recommend it. Yeah.
That
Got
seems
it.
like good words to live by.
Yeah, it was cool meeting him at the Bird game. It was one of those things where like, man, people ask us to have the Watt brothers on all the time, and these aren't easy people to get a hold of. We were in the same building. My wife kind of picked out where he was sitting. Really cool dude. We've texted back and forth. Just it was awesome. That's great, and we would obviously will work towards having his brothers at some time down.
And I just listen, and I admire the kind of musketeer spirit that they are kind of all for one and one for all, and that's really neat, because they all have had amazing careers, amazing accolades. Like JJ for sure is going to the Hall of Fame. You know that. TJ looks like a guy that's on his way, and yet it feels like one. Nobody has a status that's higher than the other along that way. And they all seem to revel in each other's success. And then they all, if it's possible, just seem like incredibly normal dudes.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do, right? It is hard to be that good, that well-heeled, that famous, that's hard to do.
As Wisconsin as it gets. That's why they're so relatable. They're literally just like you or I or any other person that grew up in Wisconsin. They didn't change, and they're not gonna change.
And now that he's kind of stumped for his brother and he's kind of saved the family honor, maybe I can lift the embargo on JJ and the soccer thing, because as you know, that's a wedge between us.
Well, I think I speak for all of Wisconsin when I say yes, please. Why don't you just let that go if JJ ever wants to come on?
Mm-hmm.
All right. As Wisconsin as it gets is also a segment we call John Wisconsin. What's up in the world of your world?
John Wisconsin. So we are going to harken back, and you'll love this, 1983. I don't know if anything significant happened in your life that year, but I graduated from high school. And so on June, I want to say it was the 16th here, a few days ago, we have our 40th high school reunion back home, Titletown Brewery. Apparently, I think of the class of 380, there were 67 people that returned. I was unable to come back for the 40th reunion. I think I was there for my 15th. That was held at the Packer Hall of Fame because that's what we do. We're as Wisconsin as it comes. But it was Parents Weekend at Arkansas and at the KD house, my daughter's sorority house. So I was down there, couldn't go. But on the guest list was a fella named Shashank Joshi. Okay. And he is now Dr. Joshi. He is a noted child clinical psychologist doctor, studied at Texas, studied at Stanford, and now lives in Stanford, California. So growing up all my life, we knew him as Rick Joshi. Okay. He is from an Indian family. They are Hindu. And so in his acclamation, he was always Rick Joshi, always. We'd go to summer camp Unalaya. He was Rick Joshi all the time until we get into high school. And I want to say 10th, 11th, 12th, 10th or 11th grade, he's like, I would like to be known as Shashank. Is that okay? Can everybody start calling me Shashank? Of course we can. So now everybody calls him Shashank Joshi, and that's still what he goes by, his name, Shashank. And if you look at his name, it's Shashank V, period, like his middle name. So he is also, I can still see the headline in the Press Gazette one time. They did a story on a whirlwind, 4.0 student. He's in the band. He is in every club. He is in every play, every musical. And so it's the last home football game. And it's the last time he will march out and lead the Trojan marching band at halftime. And he said, do you think, my parents are always, they've been here, always here, but could you say my full name when you introduce me? I'm doing the PA.
I was going to say, you were the announcer.
I'm doing the PA.
Okay.
And I say, sure. Because who wouldn't do that favor for a friend?
Of course.
Right? So I'm just counting out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has 11 names. So Shashank Joshi has more. So this is how long I worked on it. This is how long I practiced it, to the point that this is 40 years later, and I still know it by heart.
Wow.
And so when he comes out, here he is. It is Shashank Vishnu Prasad, Hari Lal, Ranchod Barter, Lilarder Joshi. 40 years later, when they connected on Facebook for the thing, there's Rick. And I said, I can't believe, I said, forgive my spelling, but it's so cool to see you again. Shashank Vishnu Prasad, Hari Lal, Ranchod Barter, Lilarder Joshi. So crazy as that may be, it's funny what sticks with you from high school. You're like, do you remember your friend Barb Flagstad? Yeah. What's her name? Barb Flagstad. You know, this guy, and he's going on to do great things. You know how most time people were taking the SAT a second or third time because they're like, you're trying to get eligible. Like he was taking it a second and third time to try to get a super high score because he's so smart and pass out of some first year classes because he knew he was going to be in school for a long time to get his doctorate. But anyway, so Rick was back. Shashank was back with a bunch of her friends. I wish I could have been there. A good time had by all people. Apparently it come from Arizona and from California. And, you know, we've spread out a little bit more than just kind of the 80-mile radius around home, which is probably where you'd still find 300 of us. You know, I'm one of the odd ducks. It's not there. But yeah, so my friend Shashank Joshi, 40 years later, there you go. If you ever need to be introduced at something formal, call me. I still got it down. No reason to trouble another host. I'll be there for you.
Just record it and send it to him. That's fantastic.
There you go. Yeah. Wow. Class of 1983, Green Bay Southwest Trojans. Sail on.
Big year. Big year. Big year in my life. Big year in your life. Big year in Rick's life, too. That's pretty fun.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thanks to Derek Watt for joining us for this episode. Really grateful to him. As you were Wisconsin, let's see what the Brewers do, huh? You really want them to do something this year? Is that too much to ask?
They'll be clinched. They will have clinched the division by the time this airs.
Boom. Receipts. We got them. As you were Wisconsin.
Remember to subscribe on YouTube, leave a review, smash the like button. Just get with us.
The Inside Wisconsin Show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, Aaron's Company, Blaine's Farm and Fleet, Capital Credit Union, Festival Foods, Quick Trip, Miller Lite, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, Provea Health, and the University of Wisconsin-Platteville.
Shut up and sit down.